Have you ever been in the position where you've had an idea or a project or something that you've just slacked on? And it's a great idea, but for some reason, you just haven't put it into action. Friend, by not taking serious action, you are costing yourself both time and money. And the sad part is, we can never get that back. Well, today we're just going to learn how to do the damn thing, and it's going to be an entire guide to getting stuff done. Are you ready to jump in and join me? I know I'm ready to share what I know. Episode 273 starts right now. Hey there, welcome to the Laura Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit laurashipman.com. That's LORA Shipman.com to get all the goods. Now, you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am so glad you are here with me today. And the fact that you are actually here with me today listening about how to get ish done, I know you're serious because I'm serious about getting things done every single day. And I have plans for myself and I have schedules for myself and routines that help me make it all happen. And that's the key, is just doing what you need to do to make it all happen. But there are a couple of things that we need to understand first before we get into any of the tips, tricks, and education about doing the damn thing. And the first thing is understanding and recognizing procrastination. I talk about procrastination a lot because I think it's a pet peeve that just bugs the heck out of me because it's the biggest time waster you can ever have. And we'll get into how to crush procrastination, but I first want to make sure that we understand why we procrastinate. I think once you understand why you do something, the easy part is actually fixing it and making changes. So the main reasons, there's actually 4 of them that we pretty much procrastinate is because 1, fear of failure. So if you've got like a project out there, something that you really want to get done, but you're not so sure you're going to execute it correctly or the results, they're not going to be exactly what you're looking for. So there's a little bit of fear of failing and looking like a fool in front of your peers, your friends, your family, all of those people. Recognize that, own that, but then you got to move past that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The second reason why we procrastinate is out of boredom. So whatever it is that you're working on may actually just bore the tears out of you. Maybe the process to get that project or that task done involves a bunch of little tasks that are just, let's face it, boring, and that's okay. The third reason why we tend to procrastinate is overwhelm. Overwhelm plays a big factor in why we procrastinate. If the project or the task or whatever it is you're doing just seems like way too big, you'll put off doing it because the fear, and there comes fear again, is what's also holding you back. It's the fear of not being able to get it done. So overwhelm can play a huge part. And the last reason why we procrastinate is because we don't have the right tools, or we don't know how to find the right tools or resources to help us get the project or the task done. Okay, so now that we've identified what actually causes procrastination, it's time to do something about it. So let's tackle the fear factor first. Fear is one of those things that I love the term or the phrase that people say there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And it's so true. Because if you think about that for a little bit, all you're fearing is the what ifs and the what could happen instead of what actually can happen. And let's talk about those what ifs and what could happen. So you have this fear of failing, and that fear of failing in your mind and in reality is going to take place in the public eye, right? So you're going to fail in front of your peers, you're going to fail in front of your friends, and you're going to fail in front of your family. And that's a scary place to be because nobody wants to fail. but it happens. But here's the thing to know about failure is the first thing is congratulations to you for taking that step. And I truly mean this because if everybody else could do it, wouldn't they do it anyways? But if you're that only person out there trying to do this, maybe it's starting a new business, maybe it's trying to go after this big client that you want, or maybe it's to hit a financial goal and people are going to tell you, you'll never make it, you'll never do it. And then you start listening to that and you internalize that. That is just setting you up to definitely fail. Because if you don't take the step forward to say, well, excuse me, but screw them, I'm just going to go after this, yeah, you're going to fail. But if you take the steps to do it and little by little you actually achieve something, you are going to succeed and you're not going to fail. And what may look like failure to friends, family, and peers, they may not see what that end result is going to be. So, a little fun fact about me and how I deal with this fear of failing is I don't tell anybody what I'm actually doing until it's done. So, I didn't tell anybody I was starting this podcast because I didn't want to hear from anyone, oh, you'll never do it. You don't have any experience in podcasting, or you don't have any experience in anything that you need to do to put on a good podcast that people will actually show up for. I didn't want to hear that because I didn't want it to discourage me. When I started my business, I did the same thing. I started it on the sly. Like nobody knew I was doing it. Nobody even had an idea that I was going to start my own business back in 2007. And I've been really successful and I've been able to grow this business very large and just by using me. And that's the only kind of business I wanted. I didn't want employees. I just wanted to be a solopreneur and not have to be responsible for anybody else. But I was afraid if I told people, I would start getting all this unsolicited advice of people telling me, well, you need to have a staff, you need to have an office space, you need to have a small business loan, all of these things that would have stopped me from making my dreams come true. Fast forward to 2021, and I am living my dream life. I love where I live. I love the car that I drive. I love the business that I have. I love my clients. Everything just lined up the way it was supposed to line up for me. And it didn't come with anybody telling me how I should be doing things. So thank you for showing up for my TED Talk today about fear and conquering it. But that was really my little pep talk to you to say this. Who cares what anybody else thinks? It's not their life. It's not their business. It's not their goals. It's not what lights them up. So it doesn't matter. And if you fail, good for you. Congratulations. Because A, you took the step that no one else was willing to do. And B, you learned from that failure. So don't let failure or the fear of failure or fear in general hold you back from doing what you really want to do that you know is going to work if given the time and opportunity. And right now, my gift to you is giving you that time and opportunity to just do the damn thing. Just do it. What's the harm that's going to come out of it? All right. As I said, thank you for showing up for my TED Talk for fear. Let's move on and talk about boredom. There are a lot of things in my business that can get boring, and it will stop me from going to that next step. So what I like to do is look at it this way. Boredom is a Band-Aid that just needs to be torn off. And here's how to tear off that Band-Aid. Look at the tasks that bore the crap out of you that you just don't want to deal with and schedule them in a part of your day that you can deal with those boring tasks. So some of those tasks that I don't like to deal with they're boring and they're probably really easy tasks, and that's why I find them boring, is I will schedule them for when I have low energy. So I don't waste my high energy, my creative energy on boring tasks. I do it towards the end of the day where I just can sit down and knock it out and get it done. I'm recognizing what I'm doing, but then afterwards it just feels so good to get it done, and I've ripped that boredom Band-Aid off and I don't have to deal with it anymore. So I recommend you do the same thing. Find out what makes sense. When are the best times of day for you to get your boring tasks done? Now, if you have a team or you have a VA or somebody who can help you, delegate those boring tasks out. Don't waste your time and energy on boring tasks if you don't have to. Overwhelm. Overwhelm can be really, really intimidating, and it's happened to me. I might get a big new client or I might get a complicated technical client, and I may feel a little overwhelmed because I don't know the subject material as well as I do some other things because this is a very technical client. Well, here's what I recommend you do when you have overwhelm enter the picture. Write down all the tasks, all the things that you need to do for that one project. And it could be a list of 20 things, it could be a list of 20,000 things. The point is, write them down just so you know in front of you everything that needs to be done, but then break it up into threes. Just take 3 tasks at a time that will move you closer to the end goal. And if you can do 3 at a time, it's perfect. Like it moves you along, but it's not so much that you feel crazy about getting stuff done. You can knock out 3 goals in a day. You really can. You just have to schedule it, plan it, and then just go after it. And that's how I tackle those big projects that just seem really overwhelming to me, just breaking it down into little bite-sized chunks. And if you could take one more bite after you do those 3 things, great. That moves you one step closer to the end of the project or to the end goal or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Now, the last one can be very intimidating too, and it's not having the right tools or resources or knowing where to even find them. So, what you want to do before you start a project like this is really just do your research and figure out what other people have done. And the answers are on the internet. I mean, you can find anything you absolutely need to. You can find it in a podcast, you can find it on a YouTube video, you can find it on a blog, you can find it on Pinterest, you can find it on Instagram. The answers are there. You just need to spend the time to do a little bit of research and just keep throwing questions into your Google search and just keep asking the question, how do I do X? What are the best tools for Y? What do I need to do to get Z done? And just do your research and do that even before maybe you break down what your project looks like in small bites. Okay, so now that we've tackled what makes us procrastinate, it's time to move past procrastination and actually pull the trigger and start getting the damn thing done. And the first thing you need to do this is make a commitment to starting. And that sounds like so easy, but it really isn't. Starting's the hardest part of anything. And once you get started, I had to tell you, it's easy to stay in the flow after getting started. So if I need to start a project that's been really hard for me to pull the trigger on, what I'll do is just commit to 10 or 15 minutes. And it's amazing. Once you get those 10 minutes in, you'll want to keep going and you'll get into this workflow state. But you also have to give yourself grace that if after 10 or 15 minutes you're just not feeling it, that's okay. Give yourself permission to stop and then schedule a time later on where you will start again and just give yourself 10 or 15 minutes to get started. Now, do this process several times until you get into that workflow and pay attention when that workflow hits. Pay attention to what's going on. What time of day is it? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it evening? Did you just exercise? Did you just eat? Or do you not like to eat before you're ready to dive into a big task? Because sometimes eating can make you feel heavy and sluggish, and being a little hungry can actually boost your energy for work. So pay attention to what's going on when you start and figure out how it feels and where you need to be the next time you want to start a project that you're not so sure you really want to start right away anyways. So pay attention to those cues so you know what to do in the next instance that you're going to start a project. Now, this next tip kind of goes hand in hand with what we just talked about, but it's a little bit of a longer runway. And what I mean by that is we're going to work in sprints. And if you've been around here for any length of time, you know I talk about this like ad nauseum all the time. I love the Pomodoro technique. It's this technique where you take a timer and you set a timer for 45 minutes and you shut off all distractions like your phone, notifications, emails, everything. And you just focus on working for 45 minutes straight. And then when that 45 minutes is up, you get up and you take a break from your desk and whatever your work environment is and go somewhere completely different, a brand new environment, new senses, all sorts of things, a change of scenery. And then you stay in that new change of scenery for about 10 minutes and then go back and start another sprint. You will be amazed at how much work you get done when you work in these 45-minute sprints, because it's enough time to get stuff done, but it's not too long that you just feel drained afterwards. And that 10-minute break in between really recharges your battery, and then you can get back at it. So really try that. I love doing the Pomodoro technique. And if you want more information on the Pomodoro technique, I've got podcast episodes dedicated to it, but there's also a ton of information online about how to do this. And I gave you a very simplistic version of how to do it, and that's the version that works for me. So you do you, boo, and find out what works best for you. Now, the next piece is the final piece, and that is set deadlines and timelines. These are so important. Set a deadline as to when you're going to start the project, and then set a deadline for when you want it completed, and then stick to your schedule. It's as simple as that. You can make it really complicated, but that doesn't have to be that way. It's a beginning and an end. Give yourself goals to work towards in order for you to be successful with your project. And that's how you just do the damn thing. You just get her done. Okay, my friends, well, that does it for this episode. I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. And the next episode will be a mini cast. And if you haven't heard a mini cast, you are missing out. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday to hear my mini cast. All right, until next time, my friends, stay healthy, stay safe, hug the ones you love, and most of all, stay social. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.